You are listening to Practical Business Expert Interviews, brought to you by London and Home Counties members of UKBA, the UK-wide Business Advisors Network.
Hello, I'm Suzanne Currid, and today I'm joined by Peter Kroeger, who's the HCBA expert in exit planning and buying or selling businesses. Peter is here today to offer his take on the most important things you need to consider if you want to sell or exit your business. Hello, Peter.
Hi, Suzanne.
Peter, what to your mind are the most common issues that business owners need to bear in mind when they decide to exit their business?
The first thing is to understand why the owner wishes to exit. And if it's in order to retire, then careful thought and planning must be given to the amount of money that's going to be needed to fund that retirement. People who are 60 or more today will probably live another 20 or 30 years, or maybe even hit the century. So that means the amount of money needed to fund an active retirement and possibly also leave something to the family is usually higher than might have been considered when starting the business. So careful planning is needed to ensure the proceeds from the sale of the business will add enough cash into the retirement pot to meet that expected need. And this is best thought of 3 years or more before a sale is contemplated. It's even more crucial when you look at the chances of selling a business. Here are some stats. 75% of all businesses that turn over less than £5 million are never sold. All that happens is that they are handed over to family or management, or the assets are sold off and liabilities extinguished. A further 17% of all such businesses are sold for a disappointing sum, and certainly not as much as the owners might have wished for. So that means that only 8%, that's 1 in 12, are sold for the amount that the owner might have dreamt of receiving.
Why is this, Peter?
Well, there are many reasons, but the most common is that the business is not ready for sale and not enough thought has been put into who might buy it.
Well, what do you mean by that exactly?
Well, selling a business is not dissimilar to securing a major contract or selling a very large amount of product. It's a sales process and it follows the same sales rules.
Could you tell us a little bit more about these rules? What are they?
Well, like any large sale, you need to understand the strengths and weaknesses of your product or service, research the market, and determine the reasons that the large buyer might have to buy your product or service over the competition. As with all such sales, price comes into the equation only once the need and fit has been established. And it's exactly the same with selling a business. You've got to think of who might want to acquire it and how the acquirer could, by merging in your business, generate real value quickly. In other words, for whom would your business be a strategic acquisition?
Does this mean going back to the basics of marketing, for example, positioning and product first?
Well, that's absolutely spot on. Selling a business is a sales process, and it's not about money in the first instance. It is all about selling a vision of future value to an acquirer. At some point, money becomes the most important issue, but not until the vision and the value have been explored.
So, Peter, what top 3 steps do you think a business owner should address before attempting to sell a business?
Well, there are many more than 3, so we'll try and pick the biggest ones. The first is that the business should be on an upward trend. There should be rising sales and profits and widening profit margins. This is a given, so a growth strategy should be prepared and executed. And this is why the owner should look at a growth plan probably 3 years out. The next thing is to determine what type of company might acquire the business and why. And in my experience of 57 deals, competitors are usually the least likely to pay a decent price. So the positioning piece is working out what you have to offer. Having decided on the type of acquirer, then consider what would be seen as valuable, and these are called value drivers. I always put myself in the shoes of an acquirer, and remember, I don't focus on competitors, and I make a list of all the things that acquirer would look for when acquiring a business. These are the things that you believe would add value. And the next thing to do is to score yourself against those value drivers. And then you make a plan to bring these to the fore in your business. Then take a look at all the areas where a discount could be applied. For example, because your admin is sloppy, your plant and machinery is untidy or needs a paint, your accounts aren't up to date, you don't have management information on a regular basis, your tax and company's house filings might be overdue, or you're generally looking tired, so you need to fix these issues in advance of a sale as well. The third top issue is management succession. Now, I've yet to come across a business that has a surfeit of management. So when you decide to exit and start talking seriously to acquirers, it is unusual that your management team won't be under a spotlight. And if they are found wanting, it often results in a pass from the acquirer. So well in advance of a sale, take a long, hard look at your management team and work out what they need in order to become more self-sufficient as managers and also as directors. Help them get there. You can do it by training, possibly appoint a business coach to help them develop in the role, and recruit in good people to fill the gaps or the weaknesses.
Oh, there's some fantastic advice there. Thank you, Peter. And thank you for sharing your insights with us today on exiting a business. I hope you, the listener, have taken something positive from Peter's comments that will prove useful to both you and your business. Also, if you'd like to talk to Peter further about planning an exit from your business, you can reach him on peter.kroeger, that's Kroeger, at hcba.co.uk. Or you can also call Peter on 01892 731 272. It just leaves me to say goodbye and thank you, Peter. And I hope you'll join us again soon for another interview offering practical business advice from our team of experts.
For more practical business advice online, why not visit us at www.lgba.co.uk.